Hello, it's good to have you join us again. It's your favorite program coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. My name is Fola Martins, and it's my pleasure and my delight every day, every time that we come with this show to make sure that you are also there with your biros, your paper, to take down, comments, to take down information, to take down new experiences that we are going to enjoy on this show. Again, we have gone out there to go and look for another distinguished Nigerian to come and share with us some perspectives about some critical element about how we can build this nation and make Nigeria one of the greatest nations on the face of the earth. What are we dealing with here? We have some demographics to deal with as we start out on this show. Nigeria is about 220 million people right now, and 42.5% of that are young people. We also know that Nigeria is also a very dependent nation. Out of 100 Nigerians, 88.2 of that are dependent on. So how do we now unravel these issues, these contentious issues, as we begin to define what nation building is and what the roles of the young people are, or the roles of the elderly also would be? Stay with us as we get to meet our guests, and then we can find answers or profile solutions to these issues.
Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
Thank you for staying with us. Well, I'm sure you are delighted to have seen the profile of our distinguished guest for this morning. A very passionate media person who has 15 years experience in the media, in the industry as a TV producer. But currently she is a secretary to, a subgroup here at Lekki Zone, where she's in charge of the Environment Committee for the Lekki Estate Resident Association. TARI TAYLAUR, you're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I can see the broad smile on your face, but I don't know if you are going to be happy at the end of the day. by the time we are done with what we want to look at here, nation building and youths. Okay, so that is what we are dealing with here. But do you think the current culture of governance in Nigeria, do you think it's responsive? Do you think it's accountable? And do you think it's people-centric?
It can be, but it's not. I have seen government agencies be responsive, be accountable, and people-centric when you push them.
Oh.
So
Oh.
it needs a level of advocacy and proactive accountability to get them to do
act,
that. Yes. Yes. So they can be, they have the potential to be, but they need to be stimulated.
Okay, so we are saying that they are not dullards. It's just that
No.
they are not well motivated.
No, they are not.
Okay, all right. Now, are we therefore imparting quality political orientation for Nigerians? Are we?
We're not. We're not. Nigerians have lost a sense of being governed. I just rounded up my campaign, and it took me into communities. I met people from all walks of life. And there is a huge void in governance, especially at the local level. A lot of people feel ungoverned. A lot of people feel there is a disconnect between the leaders who are supposed to be, serving them and themselves. They feel that, that
What's there?
government.
Yes.
That's the general sentiment. And this is as a result of successive failures in governments, to deliver on
Promises.
electoral promises and all. So even me, going in, a lot of people are dismissing me and saying, yeah, you politicians have come again. Meanwhile, it's my first time running for anything.
Yes.
So, but there are people have lost faith, have lost confidence in governance and its ability to impact their lives. And this is at the local government, which is supposed to be the closest
to the
people, delivering on public services every day. But even there's a major disconnect, and that's why I ran, because I wanted to fill that gap.
Okay, we are coming to that. You're going to fill the gap because it's a yawning gap, and so that's a lot of task to say you're going to fill it.
Yes.
Now, so what is the quality of informed citizenship that can actually empower judicious, because you have just mentioned it now, people are disenchanted, they are disconnected. So what is the level, or how do you think we can now reorientate our people so that they can have judicious elections, not selection, but judicial? So how do we manage that?
I love what you said, reorientation. In fact, I would even say orientation, because that is necessary. It's the work that needs to be done. I found myself doing a lot of that during my campaign. First of all, I was running for councillor.
Yes.
Many of them did not even know what the role of a councillor is. They don't know the services, the legal functions of a councillor. Many of them don't even know who their local government chairman is. There is just that gap. So I think that political education needs to happen. People need to be aware of the government structure that surrounds them, which they are a part of as a citizen, and which they are supposed to hold accountable.
I like that. Oh, so they are part of that structure.
Yes.
Citizens.
The citizens are a major stakeholder in the governance structure, because guess what? If you're a business owner, you are running a business, your customers are your stakeholders.
Yes.
What is the purpose of government if there are no people to serve?
Wow. But now, how do you reverse that coin? The people themselves don't seem to think that they are government.
That's what we need to make them know. That's where the orientation needs to happen. We need to, I love seeing that transition from ignorance in a person where they have no idea, what you're talking about. Please forget government, waiting how government will affect me, But you sit down, you educate that person, and by the end of that conversation, they're asking, how do I get involved? They want to know what their place is, because you have just stimulated an understanding of what their role is and what is supposed to be happening in a well-developed governance space. So yes, the people are a major, they are the major stakeholder in that governance ecosystem. Yes.
Okay, well, part of the governance ecosystem will be our traditions and cultures.
Absolutely.
Now, do you think that our traditions and cultures will give way to, if I may like to use the expression, gender equality in political arrangement? Do you think it's possible?
You see, the beauty of culture and tradition is that it's not static. You know, it changes.
But in this side of the world, do you think it's not static?
I think it's changing. You know, maybe subtle changes. But I mean, look at our cultural life. Look at our weddings. Look at our even aspects of that. Look at how it has expanded and shifted itself to conform to things that, you know, we appreciate in this time. Where same thing with the values, you know, the things that we're supposed to do. But it's interesting you asked this question, because over the weekend I listened to Fela's song "Teacher Don't Teach Me Nonsense,"
yes.
and he was saying that who is government's teacher? Culture and tradition.
Yes.
So as somebody in public service, I think we have to be very attentive to culture and tradition. We have to open ourselves up, understand culture and tradition, and then know how we would implement those values, those virtues that culture and tradition gives us into the governance of our people, of our constituency.
But that's the contradiction I'm saying here, Tari, because culture and tradition may not allow you as a woman to be involved in politics.
Where? Tell me, which culture? Which culture? Which of them? Which tradition? Women
Because
have always been...
Because they said the woman places in the other room and in the kitchen.
Perhaps, to some degree, but a woman's place, you will not stay in the other room or in the kitchen 24/7. You also come out, and you're also a force to reckon with in your cultural life. You know, women have been doing this for ages,
yes.
You know, and thriving in it, especially in our rural areas and all that. Women have always had a voice. Women have always been part of the governance, you know, systems and all that. So it's not something that
It's
I
new.
feel is new, exactly. But yes, of course, I acknowledge that there are those instances where, you know, there is suppression of, you know, women, there is gender inequality and everything. But I believe in that equity. If we all come together, we all know what each other has to contribute, you know, to the governance space. Men, women, you know, we can all do it. We can all
Okay,
do it.
great. Now we are expecting that change, and some people have said that actually change can only happen when you tell people, or when you help people to understand
Yes.
what would need to change.
Yes.
Do you think our political environment right now is doing that?
No, but something is happening. Something is definitely happening. I mean, take this local government elections, for example.
Yes.
It would have just passed by.
Like the normal.
Nobody would have known. And let me even speak to my constituency, which is in Lekki. Many people would never have known that there was an elections happening if I wasn't running and if I didn't do a lot of that advocacy and publicity and all that. And they had no idea. Many of them don't even know who their councillor is. They don't know who their local government chairman is. It's like, really? So we have a councillor. People have lived in Lekki for 15 years. They've never known who their councillor has been and all. So I believe that there is an awakening. And the more people like you and I come out, step forward, advocate for these changes, a lot of people are now realizing the power of the local government, you know, in impacting lives daily. I mean, come on, we all like to look to Alausa and Aso Rock, but not everybody can go to Alausa, not everybody can go to Aso Rock. But some can go to Igbo FM, some can go to Iru VI here, you know, to there and be able to make a difference from within, bottom up. I believe
So much.
in bottom up development.
Approach, yes.
And because of my involvement in, like, with the environment committee in Lera, I'm part of the team that runs my sub-zone. I have seen transformation happen. When you just apply the right principles, put up the right structures, it is possible.
Now, I like your confidence. You seem to be infectious with that confidence, but we Nigerians are a little bit skeptical.
I know.
Oh, you know that?
I do know.
You have experienced that?
I've seen it. I just rounded up a campaign. I engaged the Nigerians at every level. I saw that despair, that sense of...
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. We're done, you know, expecting anything from the system. But we have to revive that faith. We can't lose it. What do? Do we just roll over and die and say nothing is working? Or do we try, get up and register to vote? Put yourself forward for public service. Support somebody that you know that is running for office.
Speak to our audience at home.
Yes. We all have a part to play. You know, we have to be involved. We have to be involved. We have to get out of our comfort zone. Register to vote. Start from there. Register to vote. Encourage people you know to register.
Yes.
Go out. Get involved in the
I
system.
even heard that you can actually register online.
You can. they've simplified it all. You can register online. You will get a date for your capturing. So you will go to your local government office where INEC is, and you will do the capturing, and you will be registered. So it's that simple. That's what we need to do. We need to get involved. We need to hold our leaders accountable. Educate yourself. Who is your councillor? Who is your local government chairman? What are their priorities in this year, in this new administrative year? What are the priorities that they're going to be allocating the budget to? Are those priorities going to make your life better as a constituent? These are the questions you need to be asking. Why is your road flooded? Who is supposed to be responsible for doing that? Get involved, get to know, and hold them accountable.
No, that's brilliant again. That's brilliant. I must commend you for that, And I hope our viewers, you're going to share this news that TARI has already invited you to take responsibility for what happens in your local government, your local environment. Yes. But now, looking at our historical data, TARI, if you look back, just reflecting. So how do you define the current structures of our social engagement and economic contribution? Don't you think that the load actually on the citizens in terms of the economy, that it's a little bit heavy compared to what they're getting back?
Oh yes, absolutely. I know. In a city, I like to put things down to the smaller levels.
Yes.
So let's say even in a city that works, you would not have such a difficult time convincing people to pay their tax.
In a city that works?
Yes.
Oh, once they see that something is coming, the value is coming to them.
Yes. So I tell you about transformation that I have seen happen in my sub-zone in Lekki, for example. It's interesting that maybe by the beginning by this time, maybe early 2020, my sub-zone was noted as the slum of Lekki. It was
dirtiest.
It was deteriorating. It was filthy. There was crime. There was insecurity. We had gutters filled with trash. There was drainage problems. You will see waste landfills within the residential area. This is in Lekki. But a few of us came together and said, no, we're done. We cannot continue to live like this. The value of your property is diminishing because of, look at the environment around you. And we just implemented a few ideas. We dug out all those waste landfills there. We cleaned out all our gutters.
Funded
by the residents
themselves.
Yes, the residents came together. A few of us, we all contributed. We galvanized our other residents to put money together. We managed the fund. We showed them accountability of how we were spending. And today, more than a year later, we are noted, I tell you, in Lekki for the transformation that happened. I think my sub-zone is the only one that has consistently clean gutters. You cannot go by any of our gutters and see anything inside. Wow. Flowing water. People complain about flooding in Lekki. We don't. Now we don't, because we have cleared out all of our water channels. We employed young people from off the street that consistently clean. So each of them mans a street, and we pay them up to 30,000 monthly.
Wait a minute, let's go back again.
Yes.
You give them responsibilities.
We give them
each of them will man is so
you
you own that street to clean it up.
So if I get a complaint about one street, I know who to call. Hello, wow. Elijah, why am I getting a picture about your debt there, about this gutter being dirty? Wow. He's going to be accountable for it. He gets his money constant at the end of the day. Now, why did I bring this up? You spoke about the engagement, people, if they're getting what they get back. Why have we been able to sustain this fund that runs our structure?
Yes.
Because the residents they have seen where we are coming from, and they see where we are now. And every day they are driving through, they see our workers, they see the security we've set up, they see everything. So it makes them contribute.
And build their confidence.
Because they have their confidence in it. So imagine that at a national level, imagine that at a state level, at a local government level. People will do their part once they see the benefits and the results of what their government is supposed to be doing for them.
Okay, well, something else that will seem to be a challenge in Nigeria with the question of, well, local government are still not independent, as it were. So how do you think they can therefore function with the kind of capacity and efficiency that you just narrated?
But that's happening. The federal government has started to pay allocation directly to the local governments. You know, this is new, this is fresh.
Yes.
So
but do you think that's going to be
I think it's a starting point. that autonomy needs to happen. The local governments need to operate autonomously. I mean, historically, they have been too dependent on the state. How can you, and a lot of, and if you look at the functions of the local government as listed in the Constitution, many of those functions have been hijacked by the state government. For example, sanitation is a local function.
Yes.
Those the little
even the environmental
roads,
thing that you have just mentioned,
environmental thing, it's a local government function. But Loma handles that. So even in Lekki, which is my constituency, you see Loma people on the highways. They don't go into the inner streets. They do the highways. So the inner streets are filthy because there's nobody that is attending to them on a daily basis. But even the Loma sweepers, they're sweeping the road and the gutter beside them is filled up with refuse. And you ask them, why are you not? They say it's not our department, it's not our job to do it. There's another government agency that is responsible for that, which is the Ministry of Drainage Resources and all of that. So it's a complex system, which is why we have had to step in and put up our own structure to clean the inner roads. But guess what? The local government is supposed to be responsible for all the gutters, all the network of gutters in that constituency. That's what's supposed to be happening, but they're not doing it because the funding for that is not there to it. But this is where innovation needs to come into governance, where we now determine how we raise those funds, how we create our own value chains within our constituency so that we can, because those things need to be done.
Otherwise, life itself,
It's public health. We can't be living like that. It's a state of emergency. So we now need to get up, sit down together, be innovative in the way we go about governance so that the lives of our people significantly improves.
Okay, brilliant again, I must say. Thank you, Tari. But then we're looking at circular economy, backward integration, and sustainable development. Where would you place the woman? Because she's always in the market or in the kitchen. So
which women are these? Who are these women who are always in the market and always in the kitchen?
Seriously.
Tell me.
No, are you not seeing that happening again? No.
Well, we live in a complex society. Yes, there are some women who are always in the market or who are always, that's their own dynamics, that's their life. I spend a lot of time in my kitchen too. Many times I'm having Zoom calls as I'm preparing a meal. We live in a world that technology has made so many things easy for us. You can be in the market, you can be in the kitchen, you can be in the council.
And yet, and you deliver.
And you deliver.
That's what you're saying here.
Wherever you are, deliver. At home, deliver. At work, deliver. In your business, deliver. Everywhere you are, just deliver. That's all.
So you're saying to us that women should not be disadvantaged?
Women are not. I don't think so. I'm a woman.
Yes.
I just ran a political campaign. And I have to say I ran a formidable campaign. No limitation whatsoever because I'm a woman. No hindrance. Doors opened for me. People believed in me. They invested their confidence in me. I met traditional rulers. I met market women. I met bus drivers. Nobody discriminated against me because I'm a woman. In fact, I even think it was a benefit.
It became an advantage for you. It became an asset.
Yes.
Okay, now, so let's come back to the question of youth and nation building. You more or less represent the younger generation.
Yes.
Do you think our youth are strong enough to play a formidable role in turning the story of Nigeria around?
Absolutely.
Can we change our narratives?
We can. We have the capacity. Nigerian youths have the capacity.
Because about 45% of the entire population.
We have the technology. We have the ability and know how to disrupt things. If Nigerian youths, just let's say by one miracle, we all just decide that, this 2023, we're done. No more. We hijack that system. It's over.
So why did NSAS come to an end?
Lack of right leadership. There was a void in leadership, I think.
Amongst the youths?
I think there was not a strong, cohesive voice speaking for the young people, which are representing all the diverse interests, and so that it could be infiltrated. Because I was on that protest ground. That thing was real. It was organic. Nobody was sponsoring it. It was not about taking over Aso Rock or anything. No, it was just young people tired and fed
saying
up and saying how they felt. So it was very organic. But the reason why it lost its trajectory and its steam was because of that lack of leadership. So I feel that if we all come together under one strong leadership, very inclusive, everybody's voice heard, everybody participation, 2023, Nigeria, there will be a rebirth.
Okay, well, I like that prediction about the all-inclusiveness and how, therefore, that can change the story.
Yes.
But don't you agree with me that the political culture that we have is actually not inclusive? It's rather selective.
It is, and that's a problem. I believe I have come to know and understand that there are certain, quarters who want to keep that
Control.
Keep it small. They want to keep participation small. Left to them, Nigeria will be only 2 parties, or maybe 3. You know what I mean? There won't be that wide, open field for everybody to be able to participate, and that's wrong, because Nigeria is such a diverse nation that 2 parties cannot cut it. It's if I don't identify with one, or I don't identify with the other, then what happens? I should stay out, or I have to compromise what I believe just to be able to. Or
you be considered
join.
To be a dissenting voice.
I mean, come on, so because of, when you take into consideration how diverse, how complex we are as a people, there has to be total inclusiveness. There has to be a wide open space for everybody with integrity, with sincerity of purpose, to be able to come into the field and participate.
Okay, all right. Our viewers, you're never over with us, because you have to be part of the conversation. We would like you to come in and call or text us. When we come back, we'll do that so that Tari can answer some of your questions. So many of you right now are getting ready to go and vote, or to be voted for. So Tari can then advise you. Just stay with us. I'll be back shortly.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. We do a full workup for them.
You will remember
our government
the
should
giant
actually
strike they
open
will
their
make.
eyes,
You
especially south,
will
south,
remember
south,
with
west of the
nostalgia.
When we look in deeper than we ever looked in before, to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
Manifest as physical support. Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. Still Close Flow, and Tari Taylor is still here. She has opened up a can of worms, as it were, and I'm wondering how all of you are going to be part of the conversation. Don't forget, the number is dedicated for you to send your SMS message. Don't call, please. Just send your SMS, and Tari will answer your question or react to your comment. The SMS number to call is 080-6350-8434. Let me run that again. Please take your biro and your paper and take it down so you can just send us a text message. 080-6350-8434. Please, let's have your comment. Be a part of the conversation. Be a change agent. That's what Tari is saying here. Now, let's come back to another grinding issue. How can we actually localize and activate? The UN says 2030 agenda for sustainable development, okay? So how can we localize and do it from the street level? You have said the local government should spearhead that, but they are not even in a position, they don't even seem to have the capacity or the disposition to do that.
But that doesn't have to be that way. We can change that. We can change it. The local government should have the capacity and disposition to do it. Why are we accepting such a standard? So we say they've not been doing it. They don't have the capacity or disposition. Okay, so what? No, you have to do it.
Yes.
Because that is what Nigeria has. I believe in the structure, in the systems that make up this country. So for Nigeria to function, every little part has to be working effectively, efficiently. So if the local government is supposed to be delivering on those, benefits of our governance, then it has to deliver. There is no other way. It just has to deliver.
So no excuse.
There's no excuse.
Well, okay, now it's going to be interesting to see how you want to deploy this. Now, some people are saying that both leaders and followers in Nigeria have just played lip service, especially to that second stanza of the national anthem. You agree with that?
Second stanza,
Yes.
which is arise, O compatriots, Nigeria will be to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. Well, that's a promise. Every time you say that, it's you're making a promise.
But they say it's just a lip service that people don't actually fulfill those promises.
Sadly, but I mean that's between them and their conscience and the nation that they're supposed to serve and their God. Because especially when you are in public service, you take that oath. You are accountable. You are held accountable. So even if the people don't hold you accountable, but there is power in standing and making that oath of office, you will be held accountable in one way or the other. So it's a personal thing.
Okay, so by the time your election is over and you are ready to take office, you're going to take that oath.
I will.
With no good conscience.
I will take it with a great sense of duty and responsibility. I will take that oath.
Are you be ready to answer for it?
And I will be ready to answer for it. I should and I will be held accountable when I take my oath of office.
Well, some people are actually saying that maybe the God factor is not affecting Nigeria, that maybe we should go back to swearing by the...
Go by what you believe. Everybody believes in something. I believe in Jesus Christ. Somebody believes in Allah. Another person might be. So whatever it is that you hold dear to you, that's what you make your oath on. When I say my oath, it is with faith in God and the ability I believe that comes from that to help me deliver on the promises that I'm making. Okay, great. Now, the Bureau of Statistics says between 40 to 50% of Nigerians live in poverty. Now, the pandemic will have increased that number if you reflect on it. So, what kind of tragic situation do you think we need to quickly overcome before this becomes a...
Yes. Eradicating poverty is not only the duty of the government. It is our collective duty.
Well, I like that.
Yes.
So people should stop pointing fingers, yes.
Yes, the government has their place. They have what they're supposed to do. Please don't keep palliatives in your house till your birthday.
Please.
Share it, okay? Share the palliatives. Do the job you are supposed to do. Let the allocations flow to do the services you are supposed to render. Government has its place. Please, government, do your place.
And then?
But we have a role to play as well, as a citizen, as a fellow Nigerian, okay? Corporate organizations, private sector, we all have our role to play. The government cannot do it alone. Be your brother's keeper. You live in a community, you see people that cannot eat, people that are living
on the
street. You see children that are not going to school. What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it?
Besides talking
or tweeting. And we have to stop thinking, oh, I'm powerless, I'm helpless. No, you are not. If you start to think about it, you will be surprised at the capacity that you have to do something. I know people, ordinary people, who are doing extraordinary things, all because they said, I will try. I will take that step. You are here. This is your contribution to our national life. You're putting these issues to the fore. Somebody is watching. They may have gained some understanding in one way or the other. Let us all do our part. Let us all do our part. Let us all play our part. Let us educate people. Let us provide that reorientation that we need. Hold our teachers accountable. Hold our schools. Hold your local government. Just be involved. Churches, mosques. Be an influencer. Help people to achieve their goals. Support people. Don't be corrupt. Let the money that is supposed to go for projects go for those projects. So, I mean, that's what we can all do.
I like that because the follow-up question actually is hinged on that because Nigeria is ranked economically to be the second largest country with the highest rate of unemployment in the world. Yes, it is that terrible. Now, so we are saying, is it possible, therefore, because what you have just elaborated right now will probably be some creative way of doing this thing. So can we look for a creative way to, create some social engagement, especially for the youth, to reverse.
Absolutely. I mean, we're already doing that in Lekki.
Yes.
A lot of those kids that we've hired, these are kids that used to go on in the malls, in the shopping malls. They're begging you for money. You will see clusters of them just on the streets.
Yes.
No, they are desperate, no job, nothing. Some of them 18, 19, they've not been to school, they are just there. But we hired them. We provided some training, some orientation. We helped them to understand the quality of responsibility, what it means. This is your street.
Yes.
That means you are responsible for it. You must show up every day early to man your streets. You will be held accountable. So these people, I've seen them grow. I'm not even telling you about something I heard of. I've engaged today with that transformation, of people. So we're addressing two issues: unemployment and environment.
Yes.
With one solution we have deployed consistently for the last about 18 months.
Yes.
We have addressed two challenges: unemployment and environment, and it's consistent. It's happening. I'm so proud of them.
And it's sustainable.
It's sustainable. I'm so proud of them.
By the way,
Yes.
have you received visitors from other local government to probably come and learn?
From other zones in Lekki, people have come. They've tried to implement. They've gotten some degree of success as well. But you see, this thing, it requires attention to detail. You have to be on it every day, because you know how we're all humans. If you don't take hold, it will slack. Things will go down. So it has to be driven. It's a full-time job, and
What you have said also applies to a larger scale. That means even if you're looking at the state government, if you're looking at the national government, that's what you're saying here.
I think it can be replicated across board. There are tons of young people today, they've woken up, no job, no education, nobody is engaging them, they are hungry. But guess what? There are few who we have engaged, who have this morning, they've shown up at their duty post, they have the right gear, they're well covered, they have the right tools, and they're clean, and they're getting their alerts. Consistent. Who is better off in that situation? So this can be deployed across local governments, across states, where you will just see the transformation happen. You've engaged your unemployed youth. So security is even a natural benefit of that. So it's a solution that I believe that is just waiting for us to happen. And then, of course, with the opportunities that exist with renewable energy and even waste recycling and all that, we can create a whole new cottage industry
around that. Yes.
With exports, the conversion that can happen with our plastic bottles, what they can be converted to, how we can export them. I mean, we'll be empowering people at every level.
But Tari, are you not disturbed that such multiplier effect is not being shared, or the knowledge of it is not being shared across, the country? Are you not disturbed?
I mean, people can't share what they don't know. Like now, I've told you about that this is happening. Some people know, some people don't know.
But now,
the more I share, more people will know. I hope the right people who are able to make decisions at the federal level, because I know the federal government is very concerned about this sanitation issue. They set up the WASH initiative, which is supposed to. I mean, come on. In Lekki, I have people that are there living in conditions, no toilet, no bathroom. They eat where they go to do their waste. They live there. In 2021, I know the federal government is very concerned about that, but maybe implementation is a challenge to them. Implementation has to happen at the micro level.
Just the way we have done it, yes.
So I'm very happy for these collaborations to happen, where we just take on the resources that are available and solve these problems bottom up.
Okay, now, let's come back to the real change. So, are we, in any case, getting any real change in our environment, in our relationships, in our political climate? Are we getting any change? Are you seeing the impact of change?
I told you about an awakening. There is an awakening
going
on, especially among the elite.
Right now.
Yes. The elite have slept
for so long.
so long. They feel, well, it's not my problem. I'm not involved. I have my diesel generator. I have my little kingdom. So whatever happens out there. But guess what? In your little kingdom, when it floods and the water goes up, your little kingdom is flooded as well. You have to drive through that to get to where you are. So nobody is exempt. During the NSAS, nobody could go for medical treatment abroad.
Yes.
You had to deal with what we had here. So everybody is realizing that we're all in this together at the end of the day. So we must begin to, apply these solutions. So I feel that awakening is happening. People are realizing at every level that, something has got to give.
Okay. Now let's come back to the question of. I don't want to make it a feminist thing, but this gender issue, this gender equality or gender space, especially in political aspirations. Some people say that it is the man or the woman who thinks who can actually oppose any cruel.
Who thinks?
Yes.
Okay.
Who
thinks?
Yes, that can actually oppose or will fight against cruel customs, no matter how deeply rooted in culture or tradition. But around here, we seem to be having all sorts of discrimination. Sexual discrimination, child abuse, infant mortality, maternal mortality. How do you place all that?
Well, people are doing things. People are not silent about it. All you need to do is get on social media and you will see one advocate or the other fighting against rape or fighting against sexual violence or violence against women.
Yes.
So I think people have also woken up to that. And right now, there is we all heard the story in recent weeks about people who have been dragged, for being apologists to these things and all that. So I think that the beauty of social media and all of that is that it creates a smaller public space for people to discuss and opinions to be heard.
So
and
you agree with social media usage? Some people are already looking at the possibility of banning it making it
not
criminalizing
ban,
it.
regulate.
Yes, regulating
it. Does
it.
need regulation. Social media needs regulation.
So you agree with that?
Absolutely. It needs intelligent regulation. It needs an inclusive regulation. Call all the stakeholders together. And let us figure out how we want it to work for us.
And not against us.
Not against us. Let it work for us. So let us determine what are the dynamics of that. What regulation, everything needs to be done. I think there has to be regulation.
Okay, again, we're looking at youth and nation building, but right now, currently in Nigeria, we seem to be suffering from large scale of depression amongst Nigerian youths, and so suicides are increasing. Now, how do we correct that? And because that is urgent correction. So many people like just recently, a university girl, had to kill herself because she's been asked to spend 1 month.
It's terrible. But you see, I told you about this despair and hopelessness. That's why it's happening. A lot of people feel hopeless. A lot of
about the
people
whole
feel
situation in
about
the country.
They don't see. Sometimes how it is, even in life, when you're going through a difficult time, what can keep you going is because you say, okay, at least by the time I get here, things will be better. So you're working towards a better. But in a situation where you don't even feel that there is anything better ahead, it's hopelessness, it's despair. And that's what Nigeria sadly has. That's where we've gotten to, where a lot of people just don't see a way out. People don't see a way out. So they are frustrated. There's despair. There's that just lack of hope. Despondency. That's what will make you take your own life. And it's a tragedy that a nation with such great potential
that will be happening.
Failing people that way. But we need to get that message of hope out.
Please, can you speak to our viewers at home?
Nigeria, things are difficult now. We know that everywhere we turn, we just hear, one thing or the other. There's just like a sense of hopelessness. There's a sense of despair. We look at our government. We don't feel that our government is delivering to us on what we need to take us to our next level and all that. But we cannot stop hoping. We cannot stop doing our part. We have to understand what our part is and make sure that every day we are contributing to the life of this nation. You have to register to vote. You have to hold your leaders accountable. You have to lend your voice, to national discourse and do the little good that you can do. Don't give up. Let your faith help you. Let your faith lift you up in times of difficulty, But we all have a collective future, and it is a good future. I believe that. I have seen it happen. I'm already part of that transformation. If we just replicate certain values and certain principles into our national life and into our government, we will see the Nigeria of our dreams, and we would enjoy the good of this land. So I just want to encourage you today. Just continue to fly that flag. Continue to believe in Nigeria, because one day we would all reap the benefits of this land.
All right. Well, thank you very much for our viewers. This political evolution that TARI is promoting here. But now, the flip side of that is that people like you, often than not, you get compromised along the way, because they say in Nigeria, it is not about the principle; it's about the money. How do we deal with that?
Well, nobody is above being compromised. I think so, because we're all human. We are all subject to temptations and all of that. But I believe that, you get to a point where you know what you are about. You know what is important to you. You know the values and the life you want to live. I look at myself now. I'm not yet 40 now, but I look at myself in my 60s, in my 70s. I envision the kind of life that I want to have, my family, just
the
goodness around me. And so there is a certain way that I have to walk to be able to achieve that, what I want at the end of the day. There are certain values I have to imbibe. There are certain sacrifices that have to be made. So I'm willing, because I want the best for my future. So I believe that once you think about those things, I don't believe in excess. I'm not somebody who is a lover of excess. I believe in moderation in everything. So what do you really need to enjoy a good life? I don't need 10 houses to enjoy a good life. I don't need a private jet and 25 cars. I don't need all that to enjoy a good life. I need peace of mind. I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror every day and like the person that I'm seeing. I need to have my relationship, with my God. I need to have my good conscience. I need to be able to love my family and see them thrive and everybody that is around me. So to me, that's a quality life. I don't need to steal anything to be able to achieve that. So I'm ready to give myself to what I believe in, which is Nigeria. I believe in this country. I believe in the people of this nation. I believe in the future of this nation. And I have recognized my part. So I'm ready to show up every day and play that part so that we can all enjoy the benefits.
Okay, TARI, that again, I must say, is really inspiring and encouraging. But Nigerians, again, always come up with the fact that we need to restructure.
That may be necessary, but I think what is even more necessary is to change our mindset. That attitude.
That even if you are restructured and the mindset is still...
remains, then what, at the end of the day, you can restructure from now till tomorrow, but if the foundation is still, very poor, then what you're still going to face the same challenges. So let us shift our mindset. Let us restructure our minds first. Then when we do that, we will be in a better position, to restructure as we
desire. Okay, well, my producer is saying to me that we're almost out of time here, but TARI is not yet done, because I think she has a lot of things to share with us. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to the numbers. I asked all of you to send your SMS message. I can try. I think some people were trying to call in. Please don't call, because it's going to drop. Just send your SMS, and TARI will respond to some of your comments or your queries. Okay, now, we have dealt with that, but I would like us to look at, you said you can be an influencer, positively or negatively?
Positively.
But
you can be both, but choose positive, because negative will still come back and bite you at the end of the day. So choose positive. Yes. So
now, how do we? What's your last word, maybe to our youths, for instance, who actually are carrying the baton of what happens to Nigeria? Because you say you believe in Nigeria, but many of the Nigerian youths they seem to have lost that faith. So what's your words to them?
Okay. Do I look at?
Yes, please.
Hello, Nigerian youths.
You are great. You are a great youth. You have a great future ahead of you. They keep saying the youths are the future. Tomorrow is what's that thing? The youths are the leaders
That's of tomorrow. Yes.
Today, we are the
Not
leaders
tomorrow.
of today. No. Today, we are the leaders of today. So you need to rise up. We need to rise up and take our place, take our position, drop the despair, drop the hopelessness. Let us be proactive. Let's not be reactive. In the past, we're always reacting to everything. We'll go and protest. We just react and react. But we need to be strategic about what our goals are and rise up, come together and achieve them. Because guess what? Nigeria belongs to us. If Nigeria breaks up or if Nigeria fails, we have the most to lose from it. So we better wake up. We need to wake up and we need to do what we need to do. Take Nigeria by take the bull by the horns. Let us make this country work. Let us put our heads together and figure this thing out. It is not rocket science. Nigeria can work for us, but we need to be willing, we need to be strategic, and we need to be united.
Brilliant. Well, I told you that she's already demonstrated that, where she lives, that's at Lekki there, where she's working at the moment as a secretary, managing the environment, and she has shown you what exactly that has led to. Unemployment has been reduced in that area, security has been improved in that area, and then the environment itself has been cleaned up. 3 different things, benefits from just one singular, move. Yes. So I want to thank you, Tari, for coming on the show. We look forward to having you come to tell us exactly how the elections will go and what you need to deliver as a councillor.
Yes.
Yes, and after that, maybe you're going to be governor.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Okay, great. So, well, on your behalf, I must say thank you to Tari again.
Thank you for having me.
The conversation is never over with us on Close Flow. Go to all our social media handles and platforms and let's have your comment. Even post studio, you can still put your comment or your questions, and I'm sure Tari will follow up. So, okay, so until next week when we come your way again, it's nice having you share the time with us on this show. Goodbye for now.